Hello and welcome to Writer Rant, author advice in 5 minutes or less because I have to get back to writing and so do you. So this week I'd like to change topics a little bit. The last couple weeks I've been talking about kind of reviews and what you do when you get bad ones, if you have people who haven't read your book, those kind of things. This week I want to talk a little bit about kind of the other side of that. And so what I want to introduce is kind of the idea that I like to call writer karma. And so I understand that as writers, a lot of what we do is very isolated. Like we write books kind of in isolation, we read books in isolation. There's all this activity that we kind of do by ourselves, and so as a result, it's not really a team sport, right? You can't just like, hey, let's get a bunch of people together and write a book. It's like that's really not how it works. Now, granted, you do want kind of that core set of people to help you. So you want your beta readers, you want people who can help you with editing and proofreading and cover design and all that kind of stuff, because it does kind of take a village to make a book work. So that's not quite what I'm talking about here. So what I'm talking about is, as an author, you're going to hopefully, I said this quite a few episodes back, hopefully you can find a community of other writers to kind of get connected, networking. Obviously, you can learn more from other people's mistakes if they're willing to admit those mistakes. And so in that way, that kind of writer community is a great way to not only know, hey, you're not alone, these feelings of existential depression, of hey, my work's not good enough, this imposter syndrome, all that kind of stuff, really helps it puts it in perspective when you have that writer community. And so what writer karma comes down to is that community kind of begets its own connections to other authors, and so they all know how it's hard to gain exposure out there, especially as independent or self-published authors. And so what it comes down to is the karma comes in the sense that if you help out other authors by promoting their work on your Facebook pages, on your websites, on your Twitter, if you say, hey, here's this book by this author that I know personally, then that way that gets them more exposure. And in turn, hopefully some of your author friends would then say, hey, this person just put a book out, it's great, if it's in line with the genre they do, or if it's not, or it's say, hey, if you don't like the stuff I'm writing, try this other person over here. That kind of pay it forward mentality is something that really, I think, is, I want to say, underutilized in the writing community, because again, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of people who are like, hey, if I can't succeed, nobody else should be able to succeed, and we get kind of up in arms about, oh, well, I need to succeed kind of by myself, and I don't want anyone else's help. We need to get rid of that, right? We need to do this, again, together as a community. And so, again, it's that pay it forward type of approach. So if you, as an author, know other authors and know, hey, they're putting out good stuff, those kind of things, it not only introduces your readers to new works that they wouldn't have otherwise read, but, this also may allow other authors to say, hey, this guy's helping me out, maybe I help them out. Obviously, you don't want to do it with the hope that other people will do it for you. I mean, that is always kind of the hope, but you kind of do it out of the kindness of your own heart to say, hey, if all writers succeed, if I can get one writer to succeed, then all writers collectively can then succeed by the fact that we get these ideas out there that other people might not ever get exposed to. And so, yeah, writer karma, I think, it's something I kind of hold myself to. I say, hey, I got to help out other authors I know personally, so in that way I say, hey, let's all kind of help each other out. Let's all get some more exposure, because it's hard out there. And so, yeah, if you're an author, what about your writer community? Do you believe in this writer karma that I'm talking about here? Let's discuss it down below in the comments. And if there's anything else that kind of bothers you about, either writer karma or anything else in the writer world, by all means, drop a comment below and maybe we'll cover it in a future episode of Writer Rant. So thanks for watching this episode of Writer Rant. I'm Benjamin M. Weilert.